In this video, I'm going to give you lots of valuable tips on how to get the highest score possible in part 2 of the speaking paper of the B2 First Cambridge exam, also known as the First Certificate or the FCE. Okay, let's do this. Welcome to the Point English with me, Ben Gill, where every Thursday I release a video on the Cambridge exams, and every Sunday I release a more general video on grammar, pronunciation, vocabulary and motivation tips. So hit the subscribe button if you think that's interesting to you. But today we're looking at the part 2 of the speaking exam for the B2 First Certificate. So what do you need to do in this part of the exam? Well, this is an individual long turn where you'll need to speak about 2 photographs like this, but in the exam the photos will be in color. And you'll need to speak for 1 minute about these photographs without interruption and answering the question above the photographs, which the examiners will also ask you. And then you will have to respond to 1 extra question about your partner's photographs. So you must pay attention to what your partner says about his or her photographs. So what do the examiners want from you in this part of the exam? Well, who better to ask than the Cambridge assessment exams? And this is what they say. The focus is on organizing a larger unit of discourse, comparing, describing and expressing opinions. So you need to compare, describe and express your opinions. It's that simple. It's not that simple though, because you only have 1 minute and you don't have time to compare, describe and express your opinions. So what you need to do is describe the photographs by comparing them. So it becomes one action, both comparing and describing. Now the photographs will always have something in common. So I recommend you start by comparing the similarities. So what do the photographs have in common? And you can use this type of vocabulary for that. You can say, in both photos there are or there is, or in both photos we can see, both photos show. Okay, and then I recommend you go on to focusing on the differences between the photographs. There will always be differences. So some useful vocabulary you can use here is while or whereas. So these are good words for focusing on the differences between the photographs. So you could say, for example, in the top photo there is whatever, whereas in the bottom photo there is whatever. While and whereas in this context mean the same thing. So you can use both just to avoid repetition. And also we can use in contrast or simply but and however. So in the top photo we can see this, but in the bottom photo we can see this. Okay, and then we move on to giving your opinion, and you're really answering the question above the photographs here. So some vocabulary, simply you can say I think or I don't think, in my opinion, I believe, I would say. So that's more than enough vocabulary you can learn before the exam for this 1 minute long turn. That you don't need to learn more than that. Don't make it too complicated for yourself. And then of course you'll have to respond to a question on your partner's photographs. So make sure you pay attention when your partner is speaking and look at his or her photographs. It will just be a 30-second response to an extra question. So yeah, make sure you don't switch off and start thinking about your lunch or your dinner or the football match of tonight. So just pay attention. Now I just want to share this paragraph from Cambridge Assessment English. This is from their official handbook, so I think it's very, very interesting and very relevant. They say, candidates have the opportunity to show their ability to organize their thoughts and ideas and express themselves coherently with appropriate language. So that's what they really want you to do. That paragraph says it all. So you really need to think of this as an opportunity. The whole of the speaking part of the exam, it's an opportunity because of course you will be nervous, but it's an opportunity. It's a chance to demonstrate to the examiners face to face, because the rest of the exam you're just writing on a piece of paper and you hand it in at the end. But this is a face to face. It's a huge opportunity. So think positively about this part of the exam. So let's just quickly look at an example just so we can use everything we've learned in practice. So first, This is what you should not do, what you must not do. Do not do this. So in one photograph we can see two people sitting on the floor. The woman is touching the man's leg. He is a football player. In the other photo there is a policeman talking to a woman in the street. She is wearing glasses. They are looking at a map. Okay, well, first of all, that was too short, of course. It's better to speak too much than too little in this part of the exam. It's okay if the examiner has to interrupt you when the 1 minute is finished. That's not a problem if you have said everything you need to say. A bigger problem is if you don't say enough and the examiner is asking you to continue, because it's very difficult then to think of new things to say. So say too much rather than too little. But also, in this example, the candidate didn't compare the photographs, they didn't use impressive vocabulary, and they didn't answer the question, of course. They didn't give their opinion about the question. So let's try again with a good example. Okay, in both photographs we can see two people, a man and a woman, and one person is helping the other person in both photographs. In the top photograph there is a football player sitting on the football pitch, and the physiotherapist or the doctor is treating an injury. Whereas in the bottom photograph, both people are in the street on a corner, and the policeman is helping a woman with directions as they are both looking at a map. The top photograph is perhaps during a break in a football match, whereas in the bottom photograph the woman has probably stopped the policeman to ask for directions. I think in the top photograph it's important for the physio to help the football player with his injury, because it's important for the team that he can recover as soon as possible and get back into the match. Whereas in the bottom photograph it's important for the policeman to help the woman, because she may be lost in a new city which she doesn't know, and it can be very scary. Okay, so you can see the difference. There's more impressive vocabulary in that example, and comparing the two photographs, focusing on the similarities and the differences, and answering the questions with my own opinions. Okay, I hope that helped you. As I said, I have many more videos on the Cambridge exam, so check those out and my other videos, and I'll see you very soon for another video. Thank you for joining me. Bye.